Good morning, everyone. My name is Happiness Uday. You will recall in my last video, I spoke about um, different types of mental health disorder, like the different classification, and I listed about 10 of them. Just a quick recap. I talked about mood disorders, schizophrenia, neurodevelopmental disorders, neurocognitive disorders, traumatic disorders, um, OCDs, talked about substance use disorders, and then we also talked about anxiety disorders. So today, I will be taking these disorders one after the others, telling you their symptoms. If there are any subgroups among them, we'll also discuss it. The only motivation I will get in this video is if you continue to watch, like, and follow. Let's start. Let's start with the mood disorders. Now, if you ask someone what their mood is, they're going to tell you either they are happy or they are sad. So, it's is being happy or being sad a disorder? The answer is no. It only becomes a disorder when it goes to the extreme. So mood disorder is defined as persistent level of being excessively happy, which is called mania in mental health, or extremely sad, which is called depression. So like I said, we all can be happy at points, we can be sad at another point, but when this becomes extremely too much, that it becomes weird, we now say this person is having some form of mood disorders, and this person can be diagnosed as having what is called mania, which is excessive jollity, excessive happiness, or depression, which is extreme or excessive sadness. So there are basically two classifications of mood disorder. We have the depressive disorder and we have the bipolar affective disorder. Now, for the depressive disorder, the person is extremely sad, like very, very sad. While for the bipolar affective disorder, the person goes up and down. Today they are happy, the next day
Depression or
they are sad.
bipolar?
We may go further to ask what are the common symptoms this person with mood disorder tend to display. First, we'll talk about the emotional symptom. Like I said, mood has to do with our emotions, how we feel, and how we express ourselves. So the symptoms for mood disorder generally, the emotional state, which in this case, the person can be excessively happy. That's when you say the person is manic, or the person can be sad, the person have this feeling of emptiness, feeling of hopelessness, the person can become so irritable, and the person can just experiencing a deep form of sadness. I'm not talking about the one of sadness where you're reacting to a particular situation, like maybe there's a loss of someone, which you feel sad when you remember it. But what I'm talking about in depression, the person feels deeply saddened over a long period of time, that the person is not able to participate in any activities. Like I've been mentioning earlier, the only situation where you can diagnose someone as having a mental disorder is when the symptom or the features this person is presenting is affecting their daily activities. If someone is sad and is still able to go to work, is still able to cook, is still able to take their bath, is still able to carry out their daily activities, the person is not diagnosed as being depressed. The person is diagnosed as being depressed when they are sad and then they are not able to carry out their daily activities. They don't shower, they don't see the need to watch the TV, they don't see the need to party anymore, they don't see the need to interact with people. That's when you start looking at the person to be diagnosed as having depression. Now we've mentioned the emotional symptoms of mood disorder. Let's now talk about the physical symptom. In the physical symptom of mood disorder, I'll have something like extreme tiredness. The person is always tired. There's low energy in carrying out activities. The person just feel like laying in bed all through. They don't feel like doing anything. That's for someone who is having depression. There can be unexplained pain. The person will just stay and just start having pain in different parts of their body. They could tell you, oh, my back hurts, my leg hurts, I cannot move. They can't just explain where the pain is coming from. There's no medical undertone of anything causing the pain. It's in their head. It's because of their low mood and their uh depressed state. There's also loss of appetite. The person just lost appetite entirely. If this person is someone that used to like a particular food, let's say rice, the person just suddenly dislike or detest it's eating in rice. But in some cases, if the person is mania, I don't know why I'm concentrating more on the features of depression. If the person is having mania or bipolar, extremely happiness or extreme joyability, you see this person displaying the opposite. The person wants to eat more. The person see this food, oh, I want to eat this. The person start eating it. The person just display the opposite of what I mentioned as the symptoms of depression. There's another factor in mood disorder. The person has difficulty falling asleep. In difficulty falling asleep, or difficulty waking up from sleep. The person can just continue to sleep excessively, just lay in bed, continue to sleep. Or sometimes, if the person is extremely depressed, they don't even sleep at all. They just keep tossing around in bed. They feel disturbed. Something is disturbed which they can't really lay their hands on in most cases. There's also a behavioral symptoms for mood disorder. In this case, this person just isolate themselves from family. They don't attend family functions. They don't attend events. They don't just feel the need to attend any activities. The person can't even concentrate in what they are doing. So all these are symptoms of mood disorders. So we go further now to discuss the causes of uh, disorder or some of the risk factors. Uh, Basically, in mental health, three factors are usually implicated in causes of the illnesses. Now, for mood disorder, one of the major cause could be biochemical, which or biological, which has to do with imbalance in the brain chemicals. I stated in one of my videos that there are neurotransmitters in the brain, and these transmitters are meant to be balanced. When they are not balanced, trust me, there's going to be problem. It's just like when you want to prepare a meal and you don't have the uh, adequate quantity of water to use in preparing the meal. It's either the meal becomes watery, which will not be able to be eaten, or it becomes so dry. That's how it is with the brain. The neurotransmitters have to be balanced. If it's meant to be one meal of a chemical, it has to be that one meal. Anything above it is going to cause a problem. So when there is imbalance in the neurotransmitters in the brain, there's going to be a problem in in our mood. So the one of the chemicals implicated in mood disorder is the serotonin. Is serotonin. So when there is low serotonin in the brain, the person tends to experience what is called depression. And when there is high uh, neurotransmitter like the dopamine, the person becomes so hyperactive and is said to suffer from mania. And that thing is environmental factor. When there's stressful life event, I mean, like I said, example of environmental factor is when there's a loss of a friend or a family member, or when the person loses something, lost their job. Some of time they tend to be depressed. Some people can snap out of it, while some will just remain like that. And where that's where you get to see things like people unaliving themselves, people just taking their own lives. That's because of they experience an event that they cannot come out of it uh, naturally or quickly. Another side effect is some physical factors. If there are some chronic illnesses or hormonal changes, the thyroid gland is also implicated in one of the causes of mood disorders. So we'll go to the treatment of mood disorders. For mood disorder, for some people, like especially for those who are depressed, psychotherapy is usually one of the major treatments that is being prescribed for them. This involve cognitive behavioral therapy, where the individual is being talked to change some of their negative thoughts and behavior. It takes time. This doesn't work automatically. That's one thing that people don't understand. They feel, oh, once the talking therapy starts, they have to snap out of their depression. It doesn't really work that way. It involves a series of talks, series of sessions. Sometimes it can take up to 12 sessions with a person for them to be able to come off their depressive state. Another treatment protocol is use of medications such as antidepressant medication, antipsychotic medication. Usually antipsychotic medication is given mainly to people who are manic. Because of their hyperactivity, they tend to display some maladaptive behaviors. Another form of treatment is lifestyle changes. This individual is encouraged to change their lifestyle. If they have to sleep for, if they are noted to sleep for a long time, they can be advised to get out of bed, to exercise regularly, to visit family. It takes time. Like I said, they feel discouraged. They have this low energy to do things. For people that are depressed, they have very low energy. So, but with constant talking, with constant practice, they tend to get out of it. This is where I come to the end of our discussion on mood disorders. If you have enjoyed this video, if you have learned anything from it, like and follow for more, as I'll be dropping other form of mental health disorder. We'll be discussing other forms of mental health disorder, their treatment, their signs and symptoms, and the further management. Thank you very much. I remain my humble self. Happiness, good day.